One of the things that really is important to understand is that you and I, as individuals, were born into the world with a blank canvas. You're not born good or bad, positive and negative. You're born with a blank canvas. And then as you grow into this world, you begin to put brush strokes on the canvas. And you gradually and incrementally paint a picture on the subconscious level of who you are and what you are, how good you are, how bad you are. And that picture in psychology is referred to as a self-image or a self-concept. And that self-image, controlling mechanism for us, that you perform about like you see yourself to be on a continuous basis. Now you perform unlike yourself for a short period of time, but you will fall back to the same old behavior. So the self-image is a controlling mechanism. And what you do, all of us do, we develop a corresponding comfort zone. And that comfort zone is where we fit. So you have a self-image, a picture of who you are, and that self-image controls your comfort zone. The self-image is your picture, Susie or KT, your picture of the truth. Not universally, but the truth for you. It's your expectation. It's what you expect on a consistent basis. And so you develop then a corresponding comfort zone. And when you're out of your comfort zone, when you move away from who you are into a different neighborhood, even a different environment, your performance exceeds your expectations, you get out of your comfort zone. See, and the same thing happens if you're better than you think you should be or worse than you think you should be. You get feedback that tells you that you don't belong there. Now what happens is there's physiological changes that occur in your body. One of the things that happens is your stomach secretes more digestive juices. That's how ulcers occur. Ulcers are not a result of something you've eaten. Ulcers are a result of something eating you. Your stomach digesting itself. Now I'll tell you what does that for me, small planes. I don't like them little teeny planes. I'm in a small plane, I'm out of my comfort zone. I was flying down one time years ago to speak to a political caucus. They sent a pilot out to my house to pick me up. And he was a funny looking damn pilot. He was about 70 years old, had a funny looking hat on, and I'm thinking, you're the pilot? And on the way out there, he said he had some things he had to do with the plane before he took off. I said, what do you mean some things? He said, well, I got to put a battery in it. And that made sense. And so we get to the airport, and he pulls this little plane out of the hangar and puts a battery in the back end. And I get in the co-pilot seat. He's in the pilot seat. And he gets in, and he hits the starter button, and nothing happens. He says, put your feet on the pedals. I said, I'm going to get out and crank the prop. I said, what? He said, put your feet on the pedals, the brake pedals. So he gets out and cranks the propeller, and the motor started. And he gets in the plane, and I think he's going to pull over to the service station and get it fixed. He takes off. And I'll tell you, all the way to where we was going, my stomach was churning. I was uptight. When I got down there, I said, if your whole organization operates like your planes, you're in serious trouble. So those things happen. Another thing that happens when you're out of your comfort zone, and Kat happens to be a coach, when you're out of your comfort zone, you start doing better than you think you should do, you get uptight in the upper part of the body. You get what's called a steel elbow in basketball. You can't use your skills. How many of you ever had a supervisor or a manager come and stand over you when you're trying to do your job? And you know how you feel? You start getting uptight, and you start making mistakes. And another thing happens when you're out of your comfort zone is moisture occurs on the surface of your skin. That's how the polygraph works. They attach electrodes to your skin. When you lie, you short the machine out. I can attest to that. And another thing that happens when you're out of your comfort zone, when you deviate from the truth as you see yourself to be, your total quality changes. So when you lie, you ever hear that term, I'm picking up bad vibes from that person? They're not, oh, it wasn't me, Dad. Why are you always accusing me? No, we did maintenance on that. I was there myself. Trust me. Now, what happens when we're out of our comfort zone is all of those things occur, and you know what our first tendency is? To get back to where we feel like we belong. To get back around people like me. And so I do a lot of work in California, and let's take East Palo Alto for example. And I'll go into East Palo Alto, and sometimes I'm the only honky there. The only white guy there. Everybody else is an African American. Looks a little bit like Tex here. And you know, I mean, that's my comfort zone. I don't, but other people come in, wonder if they like me. You know, but you see, people face that all the dang time. See, African Americans many times walk into a place where they're the only one there. And we don't understand sometimes that that's not comfortable. Or a woman walking into or taking a job that is predominantly handled by men. And you know, that's a tremendous challenge. If you start doing better than you think you should do, you start getting uptight. Did you ever had a thing where things are going too good? God, I don't think we can keep it up. We're not that good. And so you screw things up. I work with commission salespeople who have a self-image of making a certain amount of money. If they make more, boy, I had a heck of a week. I better take some time off. You know? And so when we're out of our comfort zone, we have a tendency to get back where we feel like we belong. So any time that you or I try to implement change, we push people out of their comfort zone and we say, get out there and like it. We don't like it. When is this going to stop? And so they're trying to get back to where they feel like they belong. How many of you have children? You take a student, a youngster, say 10 or 11 years old, who sees herself or himself as a 2.5 or a C student. They will consistently produce a 2.5 or C. If they come home with an A on a test and mom or dad said, look what you can do, you can get A's. You know what the kid thinks in here? I know what I can do. I can tube the next two and still get my C. But if they come home with a failing grade on a test, and somebody says, you want to go out and play? Oh, I can't go out and play. I got to hit the books. I got to study so I can get an A, so I can get my C. See, up or down, we get the same feedback. And here's an interesting thing about change. Every time, and I don't want to make any problem for anybody, but every time that you bring in a new manager, he or she will start seeing things that's out of place. We've got to shape this up. We've been doing it like this. That's not the way we used to do it. And see what happens when you got a conglomeration like some organizations have today, where you got people coming in from all over the different world parts and plants. They all have a self-image and a comfort zone. And they get in and they, damn, we didn't do it like that. That's the way we do it here. You know, and so you understand that concept, and then gradually what happens is we adjust to that new comfort zone.